Good morning, my friends. I'm Vince Conaway. The instrument I have here is a hammered dulcimer. This one is particularly named Maria, named for my mother. I also have instruments named after my godmother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, for the record. This is Cantiga Santa Maria number 353, I think. Thank you very much for listening, for tuning in today. I am playing for an empty audience, and you all, here at the Sherwood Forest Faire, where management has been very kind to let those of us who were staying on site remain here until the scheduled closing date of the fair, despite the fact that we have been forced, due to circumstances, to close 5 weekends early. To give a huge thank you to my Patreon patrons, because you all are really my glue right now. I have to say that that I owe you guys a huge debt of appreciation, and I am very grateful for you all. Thank you very much for your support. I'm eventually going to post this video everywhere, but of course my patrons will see it first, as is the rule with me. I mentioned that was Cantiga Santa Maria number 353. It was one of over 400 hymns to Saint Mary, written for pilgrims to sing while walking the Camino de Santiago in the 13th century. Like many of my stories and the ideas behind the music, this one has a personal association, because I was in my very favorite museum in Florence, Italy, the Bargello, one of my top 5 museums of the world. And as an aside, the Bargello was amazing. About a number of years ago, they pulled a lot of the sculpture out of the Uffizi Museum, put it into its independent museum. Nobody's heard of it. Everyone's busy waiting around the block to see the David at l'Accademia. Everyone's in a 5-rank line to go into the Uffizi, and there is nobody in the Bargello, and you'll be in a room with 3 Michelangelos, 4 Donatellos, 7 Cellinis. It's just amazing place. And I have to say I am a huge fan of the museum. But I was there once, and they had a special exhibition, a traveling exhibition on medieval pilgrimage. In addition to being this amazing bastion of Renaissance art, the Bargello was also a 13th century city hall, which later was turned into a 15th and 16th century prison. So it's got a lot of history even in the stones of the building itself. And there was a traveling exhibition on medieval pilgrimage, and I turned a corner and came face to face with one of the 13th century original manuscripts of the Cantigas de Santa Maria, and I squealed like a 4-year-old. I am not ashamed to admit the sound that came out of my body, because it was absolutely stunning to come face to face with one of these original artifacts, and it was just an absolute highlight. It was amazing. To continue story time, this next song is by my all-time favorite composer, Francesco Canova da Milano. Nobody's ever heard of him, but in his own lifetime, he was known as the Divine One. They called him Il Divino. He was a northern Italian from Milan. He spent some of his career in Paris, and so occasionally in the sources you'll find him as Francesco da Parigi as well. Musicologically speaking, he's important because he helped popularize instrumental music as an independent art form, where it wasn't just dance music or vocal music without vocals, but it could do its own thing and obey its own rules, or disregard the rules in the case of the fantasia, which Francesco Canova did a huge amount to popularize. He did not invent the form, but the fantasia is Italian for fantasy. It just means all of the strict rules of the Middle Ages are gone. Do what sounds cool, do what feels nice. And I really, really enjoy playing them because they are whimsical and delightful. And it is pronounced fantasia and not fantasia, no matter what Disney might tell you. This is Fantasia number 34 by Francesco Canova da Milano, my all-time favorite composer. I love his stuff. He entertains me immensely to play it. Now I am going to wrap up this particular video with an original tune that I wrote a number of years ago. This is my traditional show closer. Wherever I am, wherever I'm doing, I almost always use this song to close at least one act of the show. Whether I'm playing on the street, and it's every time I play a 45-minute or an hour set, I will play this song to close it out. Sometimes when I'm playing a multiple set show at a coffee house, a cafe, or a bar, or a house concert in someone's living room, I would use this song either to close Act 1 or Act 2, depending on the mood of the show and how things are flowing. I call it February, and one day I was playing in Naples, Italy, on a street corner on Spacca Napoli, and a cop walks up and stands right next to my dulcimer. And as a street performer, as a busker, I have a very fraught relationship with law enforcement. But in Italy, they tend to be fairly cool. You're not under arrest, you're not getting confiscated, you're just being told to go away. But a lot of times they'll wait for you to pause before they do it, before you get in trouble. So I'm just not gonna pause. I'm like, I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna make eye contact, and maybe this guy's gonna get bored and go away. Cop is right there. Just keep playing, and the cop is right there. And eventually I reached a point where the song is over. And if I'm honest with myself, the song has been over for over 2 minutes. I've just been repeating and repeating and repeating myself. And I finished it with a flourish, and I think to myself, well, Naples, I guess this is goodbye. Thanks a lot. And I finished the song, and the cop looks at me and goes, bravo. And he walks off down the street. And it was a totally wasted panic attack. This is February. Thank you very much, my friends. I am Vince Conaway. A huge thank you to my patrons who are keeping me afloat. Massive thank yous to everyone who is watching this now. I appreciate you, and I hope you're all staying safe, staying healthy, and taking care of yourselves. Be well. Until next time, my friends.